What is up, everybody? Welcome to today's YouTube video. Apologies again for no upload last week. I got to keep stop saying that really, because yeah, I just need to get on and do them. But it's been a super busy couple of weeks for me. As you can tell, I'm just getting in my lunch break now and thought I'd film a little quick YouTube video for you guys. So as you can tell from the title, we are going through 5 reasons why you're probably not gaining any weight, or probably, you know, it's not going as effectively as it can. So I think actually what I'm going to do is quickly drive over into some shade, because I feel like a chicken in an oven at a minute. I'm absolutely roasting. So yeah, I'll catch you in a sec. Right then, so let's get into the first, hang on, let me switch it off. So the first reason then, number 1, is going to be due to overtraining. Now we can break this down into a few different elements, because it could mean, you know, you're literally overtraining in terms of the frequency of how much you're training the body parts. You know, if you're training chest like 3, 4, 5 times a week, or, you know, every single session, then you're probably overtraining it, and you're gonna limit the progress you can make, because you've got to allow that time of it being broken down to then build back up. If you just keep, you know, hammering away at it, ultimately you're gonna just reduce the progress that you can make, and you're just gonna be bloody knackered, to be honest. So yeah, you wanna try and keep your frequency down to sort of at least twice per 7 days. You know, yeah, twice in a period of 7 days is probably the optimal amount. And yeah, we can also break this down into overtraining in terms of sort of how long you spend in the gym. So you know, if you're spending, well, it's different for everyone, but you know, I know for me, sort of 1 hour and 15 is my sweet spot. Some people can train for 2 hours. I'd say 2 hours is still, you know, absolutely fine. When you start pushing that 2.5, 3 hours, you've got to question really what you're doing, because yeah, you know, if you think you're in the gym and you're training hard, you're training intensely, are you really making the most of that, you know, that extra hour? Are you really putting in 100%? You know, can you honestly say that you're still, you know, 100% raring to go and putting in, you know, maximum intensity? Likelihood is probably not. So yeah, make sure you keep those sessions nice and short. And yeah, I think those are the 2 sort of key elements when it comes to overtraining, really. And yeah, this is definitely a significant thing that can affect you from gaining weight. Right, so number 2 then, the second reason you're probably not gaining weight is because, and I was very much guilty of this in the beginning, is that, you know, you just change your workout routine very frequently. So, you know, every 4 weeks you get on a new split, because yeah, people tend to get bored. People don't like to necessarily do the same movements time and time again, but you need to put in that groundwork of those movements. If you're doing a workout routine or workout program, sorry, for 4 weeks, and you're doing sort of four rotations or 3, yes, sort of a 4 or 5 day week, and you get, you know, a few rotations in, you're not really going to be performing those exercises, those movements that frequently in a 4 week period. So the progress made is not going to be that big. Whereas if you stick with the same workout routine for, you know, 4, 5, 6 months, longer than that ideally, then, you know, you're performing that movement 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 times in that space of the 6 months, and therefore the progress that you're going to make is going to be a lot bigger. Now, don't get me wrong, I think if you get a workout routine or there's a movement that you're not really getting on with that well, you know, you find you're not really connecting with it that well, or if you are stalling on a movement, you know, if you find that you're stalling the progression on that particular exercise for, you know, a few weeks, then maybe it's time to switch it out for another movement. But only, you know, I'd only recommend sort of switching out, you know, 1 or 2 movements. You know, you don't want to be switching out your whole routine. You know, for example, if you're stalling on the flat barbell bench press, and you can't progress for the last sort of few weeks, switch it out for a dumbbell, you know, flat chest press instead, and maybe run that for a little while. Because yeah, you might figure out that you actually connect better with the dumbbells, that you actually prefer working out with the dumbbells, or it might just give you that sort of mental and physical break from that movement, and then a month or to 6 weeks down the line, you can revisit it and hopefully, you know, continues to make progress. Right, number 3 then hits home for me, and definitely for my fellow ectomorphs out there, and that is that you're not tracking what you eat. You know, before I started actually understanding what I eat and what, you know, food is in terms of macronutrients, you know, so in terms of carbohydrates, protein and fats, before doing that, I honestly could have no idea how many calories I was eating. Probably between 1,000 and 1,500, because yeah, it's one of those things that once you know what's in food, and it's a little bit of a curse really, like, you know, right now I can look at a plate of food and roughly but fairly accurately, to be honest, you know, guesstimate how many, the calories, the protein, the fat and the carbohydrate intake from that meal. And it's just because I've done it for so long, and I've tracked using MyFitnessPal, which is a great app to use, for a very, very long time. So now, you know, I've got to that point where I don't necessarily need to track. If I was going to go into a competition prep, then obviously I would, because that's a completely different story. But for me, just trying to bulk up and gain weight, I can afford to not track, because I know what's in food and I know what I can eat. I know roughly how much I need to eat in a day to gain weight and lose weight, you know, etc. So yeah, definitely recommend getting on MyFitnessPal, guys, if you haven't used it before. It's super simple to use. You can often now just scan the barcode of the food. So yeah, it's super simple, super easy, and yeah, it will give you a real idea of what you are actually eating. Because before, I'd say I was probably eating, you know, a bowl of cereal, maybe a meal deal for lunch, and whatever my mum made for dinner, and, you know, quite honestly, it was probably under 1,500 calories, whereas now I'm eating between sort of 3 to 3.5 to get that slow gain. Obviously it was many years ago, but I definitely needed more calories than that, I think, back then at the time. But yeah, it's one of those things, once you get into it, it's a bit of a pain to get into it, but once you do, it's definitely, yeah, very beneficial. Right, number 4 then, I think again is one that every sort of newbie to the gym can relate to, and that's just hopping on a machine and doing whatever weight, you know, the guy or woman left you know, previously. You just crack on with that. And obviously, yeah, if you really think about it, it just makes zero sense whatsoever. I mean, I used to do it for a very long time, don't get me wrong. So yeah, it's not really a silly thing. I mean, it is, like, once you get further down the line and you realize you realize that, but at the time it just seems very normal to hop on and just start, you know, pushing the weight. But yeah, realistically, you know, you could be doing a weight that's incredibly light for you, therefore you're not going to make any progress. Or on the other hand, you could be doing a weight that's extremely heavy for you, and not only can cause a risk of injury, but again, yeah, you're not going to make any progress. So the key thing really is to make sure you track your workouts, you know, as well as tracking food, as the previous reason. Definitely want to track your workouts, because, you know, that way you know what weight you're doing. I like to use an app called Strong. You can use you know, old-fashioned pen and paper. I know a lot of people like to do that these days, but yeah, super easy. Just write down the weight you're doing, because the next time you come to it, you can think, okay, I did 10 kg bicep curls, now I'm going to do 12 kg. Or it will be like, you know, you did 10 kg for 10 reps, this time I'm going to do 10 kg for 12 reps. And yeah, I think it's definitely a key thing to track, and it could be a big factor to why you're not gaining any weight. Right, and last but not least, then we are on to number 5. Holy shit, that guy's getting close to my car. Bloody hell. Someone's literally just tried to reverse park in about the last sort of 5 minutes, actually been trying to do that, and has literally ended up nearly skimming my car. So that's great. I mean, it's not the best car, so I'm not too bothered if he scrapes it, but I'd rather he didn't. Anyway, number 5 then is, you know, you're not consistent. You know, one of the big reasons why a lot of people don't actually make any progress in the gym is because they just don't go. You know, I mean, and I've definitely been guilty of this in the past, you know, with busy weeks, etc. It's definitely stalled my progress. You know, if number 1 is consistency over anything. You know, if you go twice one week and then 5 times the next, then once the week after, then twice the week after, your progress is going to be extremely limited compared to, you know, someone, if you think about it, someone who goes even just 3 times a week, but goes every single week, you know, for 3 times a week, and you know, compared to someone who goes, like I just said, 5 times, then once, then twice, then 4 times, then once. Like, the progress is gonna show in the guy that goes, or woman that goes, sorry, that goes 3 times a week, you know, just rigidly every single week. So yeah, definitely a big determinant of this as well is, I think, the program that you do. You know, if people aren't enjoying it, aren't finding the exercises sort of fun and engaging, then ultimately you're not going to want to go. So that might be a thing to speak to someone about, you know, grabbing yourself a coach, or just, yeah, having a look on YouTube, to be honest, looking at different workout routines. You know, I can definitely help you guys out with that. You know, point you in the right direction of finding stuff that you actually like to work out and enjoy, because, you know, there's a lot of bodybuilding channels out there that push this, you know, extreme bodybuilding lifestyle, bodybuilding workouts, but in reality there's a lot of ways to probably get the body that you guys want. It doesn't always have to be full intense, you know, bodybuilding style. Obviously that is a part of you know, getting these big muscular physiques, but there's definitely a way of incorporating other movements, you know, a little bit of CrossFit, you know, cardio conditioning work. There's definitely things that you can do besides the sort of, you know, the hardcore stuff really. But yeah, that is the 5 reasons that I've come up with of why you're probably not gaining any weight. These are things that definitely have affected me in the past, and yeah, it didn't sort of, I didn't change from these overnight. It definitely was a process. It definitely took a while. But yeah, that's the video, guys. Yeah, it's my lunch break all done. Hopefully yeah, managed to get out everything that I wanted to say there. Sincerely hope you guys have enjoyed the video. I'll be back next week, hopefully early next week. I upload every Friday, without a doubt. I say without a doubt, I mean usually. If you're new to the channel, the upload schedule recently has been pretty poor, but if you're been subscribed to the channel for a while, you know that I usually upload every single week, and I'm definitely going to be trying to do two videos every sort of, or a video every 5 days. So not, you know, basically 2 videos a week, but not putting that sort of soul pressure myself to do 2 in every 7 days. Just once every 5 days I think would be a good thing to aim for. Get a lot of good feedback on these videos, and honestly I love doing them. I just need to be a bit more proactive with my time, I think. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video. I will catch you guys next week for the next one. Peace.